Welcome to the Fishing Report with Big Daddy. This is our kickoff first inaugural report, and I'm Big Daddy, Carl Batchel, photojournalist from WKYC, and I'm here. I sort of can't believe it myself, obviously, but I love to fish. Fishing is my pastime, my passion, and a lot of people through the years have helped me learn different tactics and techniques and catch different species. And that's what I'm here to do now, is to point folks in the right direction and teach you how to catch a few fish here and there. We've got great resources here in Ohio from, of course, Lake Erie, best fishing in the country as far as I'm concerned. And I've actually lived in Louisiana, which is known as Sportsman's Paradise. But Lake Erie, love it. Also, our inland lakes, a lot of folks that can't make it up to Lake Erie because of travel issues or they can't afford a boat. A lot of people fish inland lakes, and they do great. So I'm going to talk about them. Every week we're covering Lake Erie, and we're going to do a rotation of lakes, inland lakes and rivers. So keep your ears and eyes peeled for that. But first, our first report is Lake Erie's Western Basin. And Chris popped up a map for us, my producer Chris, and I hit the area of the Lake Erie Islands with Captain Bob Huey of Fishin' Fool Charters. We went out last week and weather was nice, heading out to Anchors Away Marina. We were heading for walleye on the rocks using hair jigs. That's the jig right there. Purple was the hot color for us. Water depth was 8 to 14 feet. Bob's got a real nice open bow boat, and we had a great time jigging. Weather was beautiful. It's not beautiful now, but it will be. And we caught some really nice walleyes. And when you're fishing these, you just want to bounce them off the rocks, nice and easy. You'll get snagged now and again, but most times you're not going to lose your jigs if you keep the lure bouncing and moving. It's called snap jigging. So we caught some really nice walleye between 18 and 24 inches at a nice limit, and they sure were tasty. But he sent a nice report, Captain Bob, Fishin' Fool Charters, water temperature's 51 degrees. Water clarity is really bad because of all the rain, and it may take till the weekend to get fishable water. He did say white bass are running in the Sandusky River now. So if you're a white bass fan, you can head to Sandusky River and catch some white bass, hair jigs and twister tails in bright colors, because that water's muddy too. Walleye seem to be holding about 8 to 15 feet deep, and jig fishing should continue next couple of weeks. It's going to transition, though, to casting with weapons, and trollers will do a lot better. They're catching them now. Body bait 60 to 90 feet behind the boat. Best spots are north of the range cans off of Camp Perry, north of the islands by the Canadian border. There's good news, and they're starting to catch walleye on night crawlers using bottom bouncers, 2 to 4 ounces based on the waves. Smaller walleye are being caught, so check your lengths. They have to be 15 inches. If they're smaller than that, throw them back. There's a lot of fish out there. So thank you, Captain Bob. You're the man. Fun to fish with, really laid back. Now I'm going to talk about another report from one of our captains, Chris Vogel. And he's fishing out of Lorain. Sorry, I lost my train there. Fell off the train, which happens a lot. But he's fishing out of Lorain, Dog Pound Charters. He's one of the captains on that boat, and On Point Fishing is his charter service. And he said with the opportunities to get out, they've been fleeting the past couple of weeks with this really weird weather pattern. But he's been trolling using bandits, and look at a couple colors of different bandit baits. There you go. And when water's stained and muddy, you want those bright colors. And he's running them shallow, only 30 to 40 back behind your planer board, or 30-30 with a 2-ounce weight, if you want to show the folks what the 2-ounce weight looks like. Oh, sorry, I got them mixed up. My bad, Chris. It's all my fault. That is another Bandit crankbait that's called Wonder Bread with the black head, and we use those. They've been catching those, running those deeper in stained water. Anything with white in it like that has been a really effective bait, doing really well on the walleyes. The fish that are in deeper water, that 48 feet of water, are hitting the darker colors, and you need to put a snap weight on the line to get that bait down deeper. It assists the lure in going deeper. When you're trolling for walleye, it's all about water, the depth your lures are running, and the speed your boat's going. And if you want to show them the snap weights, I don't know if you got that picture, Chris. Don't have it. Okay. It didn't go through, which is probably my fault too. But that's okay. It's just a weight that clips on your line. Chris recommends letting out 30 feet of line, clipping the weight on, and another 30 feet, and you can put your planer board on, take it out to the side of the way away from the boat, and that'll run shallow. The further back the second number is, you put the snap weight on 30 feet, you let it back 80 feet, that lure's going to run a lot deeper. And 48 feet of water is probably about 5 miles out. Where he's fishing off Lorraine and further west towards Huron, there's a lot of humps in the water, a lot of sandbars. They're fishing the edges of those on that deep water. So that's where the walleyes are hanging. They're catching really nice fish too. So thank you, Chris. I hope I didn't butcher your report too bad. But, first time here, work in progress. Be patient with me. I got to get used to this. I'm not used to being on camera. But next, Michael Bray, my good friend who runs the Church of Perch. Yes, it's an actual thing. He's caught some really nice perch in Sandusky Bay. Not a lot of them, but they're really good-sized perch. That's Mike right there with a double, using them on spreaders, catching doubles and minnows with scent on them, Kodiak scent paste. He did really well with those. So thanks, Michael Bray, for your report. More reports on the Church of Perch. So let's get back to our report. And we're going to leave Lake Erie in our dust and head south towards the Portage Lakes. Last week I was off, so I got out fishing quite a bit, hit East Reservoir at Portage Lakes, and did some crappie fishing. This time of year, the crappies are either spawning or getting ready to spawn. Each lake is different, but these are black crappies. They're in their spawning colors. These are all male fish. You see how dark they are. That's their spawning colors. They want to look formidable. They want to attract a female, get all dressed up. That's what we say. They're wearing their tuxedos. And the crappies are biting. Went there with my good friend Ben, who caught some nice crappies. We were using slip floats about 8 feet down and minnows. Classic way, the most simple way to catch fish, a slip float. Slip floats are nice because you can control your depth. We did. We caught some really, really nice fish. Ben kept a few for the fryer, cook up some fish tacos. Crappies are great to eat. Keep them on ice, keep them fresh, and they are really good. This picture is very important. I'll talk a little bit about boat etiquette. Now, we were fishing maybe 20 yards off of shore and catching a lot of fish, and that generally attracts attention. And the folks in the red boat thought, well, we're going to go between them and the shore and steal their spot, and they didn't, though. They weren't catching anything because they didn't have any minnows, and we just kept catching them right in front of them. But that's okay. Be courteous. Nobody's mad. Nobody's calling anybody names. Just give your fellow angler some space out there. That's all. And big lake, full of fish. Go find them. There's Ben with a really nice black crappie. And there's two species of crappie, black crappie and white crappie. And let me explain this. There's black crappie and there's white crappie. White crappie, the easiest way to tell is by counting the dorsal spines. The white crappie has 7 or 8, and the black crappie has more than that. I think that's how it goes. If I'm wrong, somebody tell me. and I'll retract my statement later. But another day, I went out with my son. I love vacation because I go fishing all the time. We went to West Branch, which is a little further east from Portage Lakes, down I-76 towards Ravenna. And we were at West Branch fishing. It's a whole different kind of lake. Portage Lakes, clear as a bell. You could see the bottom in 14 feet of water. West Branch, muddy, looked like a cup of coffee. And we still caught fish. Those are white crappie. That's a white crappie there. The water's very muddy. The fish are not quite spawning yet. This was last week. I don't know about now. The cold weather has sort of slowed them down. As soon as it starts to warm up over the next few days and into next week, the fish are going to really turn on and get up in the shallow water and spawn. We caught these in 12 feet of water, and again, slip bobbers and jigs, slip bobbers and minnows. And the fish they could not resist. They're feeding up, they're getting their energy and packing on the weight. So when they go up and spawn, they don't bite. They'll hit your lures, they'll hit your jigs, but they're defending their nest. That's how it works. But in the springtime, everybody's a crappie fisherman, and we caught well over 50 fish. Kept about a dozen, and I'm giving it to a couple of my fishing buddies. You got to share your catch. That's always a good thing. You'll have friends for life. But fishing's so much fun. I love it, and a lot of people, like I said, have helped me throughout the years, and that's why we're doing this, because I want to help people get out, find new places to fish, new techniques to use, and explain things, because not everybody knows, like the planer board situation. That's a little complicated, and you could tell that I was having problems even talking about it, but we'll get there. Work in progress. Just remember those words. But you got to start somewhere, and if you're a dad, a grandpa, an uncle, you have nieces, nephews, you have kids, take them fishing. There's so many places now that have youth fishing ponds, youth fishing derbies. And I took my daughter and my grandson Isaac to Little Turtle Pond, Summit County Metro Parks. We went there, and every year they have a fishing derby. And Isaac, he's 3 years old, so I'm not expecting he's going to, be fishing very long. He's very curious and wild. It gets into stuff. He almost drove away with the sheriff's golf cart. But anyway, my daughter Elena, though, she did really well. First cast, Fish Ohio crappie. And talked to the guys from the Goodyear Hunting and Fishing Club, and they said they didn't stock the pond with crappie. And I said, well, they just followed me, because that's what I'm known for, is crappie fishing. But she was very happy, and 13.5-inch crappie is a nice one. That there is a white crappie. There she is getting it measured, and we put it back. She's gonna get her Fish Ohio pin. There's all sorts of places to fish in the metro parks, and if you take a look at their website, Chris, do we have their website? There it is, summitmetroparks.org. You can go there, and in the search bar at the top, you can click fishing, type in fishing, and it'll take you to their fishing ponds. They have several throughout the park district, and they stock them. Little Turtle Pond is a kids only, 15 and under, and there's bass and catfish and crappies and bluegills and trout in there. So get out there and catch some fish. Another great place to go is the youth ponds, District 3 Division of Wildlife. They open on Memorial Day. I'll talk about them next week and have some pictures. I've done a lot of stories there, have a lot of great pictures, helping kids fish, doing some volunteer work. It's a great place to go. I'm also going to talk about the Cuyahoga County, Cleveland Metro Parks, their kids' derbies. They're coming up at the end of May, the 20th and the 21st. I'll talk about those next week. But I think we're about done. Next week, we're going to talk about the kids' derbies again. We'll have a new Lake Erie report up to date. and it's going to be good because the weather's going to break and it's going to be nice out. So get out there and catch some fish on Lake Erie if you can. We're going to talk inland. We're going to talk Mosquito. We're going to talk Berlin. We're going to talk Nemesilla. And the Medina County Park District has several lakes too. We're going to profile a few of those. So there you go. First one in the bag. And Big Daddy saying catch some fish, take a kid fishing, and wear your PFD. It could save your life. Thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate it.